Brought to you by the new Pharaoh's Lounge Kickstarter. Today, I ate a little bit of shit today. First game, I got slaughtered. Too much Hawkinson, not enough Chandler in the flexes. Thankfully, Jared Goff just pushed two of my teams at the first place in the best ball. However, definitely way too much Javonte Williams, and he fucking torpedoed me. The middle game, I got all the way to 10th place in the play action because of my Taylor Goodson pick, and I just didn't use enough Goodson. In the other lineups, a couple lineups I could have taken it down if I ran Goodson instead of fucking Mallory or Ogletree at the double stupid tight ends because I had a lot of fucking Mo Alley Cox. But I got as high as eighth, and that was it. I fucking Steelers just did nothing. They didn't show up. And then in the late game, I got killed. So the middle game gave me enough confidence to know that at least my old system gets me there. So without further ado, let's make 20 lineups for the night game. Ravens Jaguars. It's all rainy and shitty out here in Fort Lauderdale. And I ordered some fucking sugary snacks and honey roasted cashews, and I'm fucking doped up on sugar, and I don't want to go to sleep. I want to make some fucking lineups because football starts in what? 13 hours. I ain't sleepy. Let's do this shit. 20 lineups. Lamar Jackson, 20 captains. Trevor Lawrence. Travis Etienne. Zay Flowers. Who will be our six? Our core five, if you will. Cal Ridley. Evan Ingram. Gus the Bus Edwards. Odell Beckham Jr. Isaiah Likely. Who's this fucking guy? Dearness Johnson? Dearness fucking Johnson is $9,300 a captain? Really? I haven't paid much attention to Jaguars fucking football. All right, we got the backup quarterbacks over here. Keaton Mitchell. Told you not to eat that goddamn Cajun chicken, baby. So I can't give you people food because you puke it up. Zay Jones. Justin Tucker. Oh, he's a mean motherfucker. Bradley McManus. Now, of course, none of these seats are guaranteed to hold captain's positions. It's just giving us some wilder options. Ravens defense. Colts defense was the winning fucking lineup today. I know because it beat me by 4 fucking points. I came in like 20th. Parker, Washington. Tank, Bigsby. Jaguars D. And final consideration for captain, one Rashad Bateman. All right, get over here, get over here. Remember, brought to you by the new Pharaoh's Lounge Kickstarter. All right, it's all right, it's all right. Let's do some reading, kids. All right, so if we had no salary cap, of course. The top 6 cards: Jackson at captain, Trevor Lawrence, Travis Etienne, Zay Flowers, Cal Ridley, Evan Ingram. There's your top 6. Unfortunately, it leaves you with a deficit of $14,000. I haven't figured out how to hack Draftkings yet, so let's see what we got. Baltimore here on this side. Jacksonville on this side. Let's do it. Lamar Jackson completed 24 of 43 passes for 316 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 interception in Sunday's win over the Rams. He had 11 rushes for 70 yards. Jackson erupted in the win, topping 300 passing yards for the second straight time this season while topping 40 passes for the first time on the campaign. He spread targets around evenly, finding each of Odell Beckham, Isaiah Likely, and Zay Flowers for gains of at least 20 yards, as well as touchdowns. Jackson was also active as a rusher, and he managed his highest yardage total on the ground since week 3. Altogether was an excellent performance from Jackson, though it was his only second multi-touchdown performance in his last 6 games. From now on, when I run a quarterback and captain, I gotta run the slaughter stack, because if I was smart and ran the fucking Jared Goff slaughter stack today, I could have won some fucking money. When you're running the quarterback and captain, you gotta run a slaughter stack. Just a fucking aside. Just assault. Quarterback captain and all of his fucking best targets. Whatever you can fit to the fucking cap. We got names here. What do we got? Beckham. Likely. Flowers. All connected to Lamar. Do it. Trevor Lawrence. Listed as a full participant in Wednesday's practice. Lawrence's ability to take every practice rep Wednesday indicates that he experienced no setbacks with his right high ankle sprain coming out of Sunday's loss to Cleveland. The quarterback told Justin Lewis of the Florida Times-Union as much to Wednesday's practice, noting that he made it out of the Week 14 pretty clean and felt as though he moved around the pocket well. Lawrence threw 3 interceptions and struggled with accuracy against Cleveland, but with the injury now further in the rearview mirror, he could be a decent bet to bounce back this Sunday versus Baltimore. Travis Etienne Jr. doesn't have an injury designation ahead of Sunday's game against the Ravens. Etienne has been managing a rib injury since getting banged up week 12. But unlike the last 2 weeks when he was deemed questionable in the Jaguars' final injury reports, the running back status for Sunday's game isn't in question. In the team's loss to the Browns in Week 14, Etienne carried 14 times for 35 yards and a touchdown, and added 4 catches for 37 yards while logging 59 of a possible 76 snaps. This weekend, he'll take aim at a Ravens defense that Kyren Williams ran for 114 yards on via 25 carries in Baltimore's overtime win over the Rams last Sunday. Ah, damn. Ravens defense gets a red mention. They'll take aim at a Ravens defense that got fucked up by the running game. Well, isn't that a development? Zay Flowers caught 6 of 10 targets for 60 yards and a touchdown in Sunday's overtime win over the Rams. He added a 2-point conversion. The rookie was on his way to a somewhat disappointing outing before reeling in the go-ahead 21-yard touchdown for Lamar Jackson with 1:16 remaining. He then punctuated that possession by catching the 2-point conversion to give the Ravens a 3-point lead. Flowers now has drawn 18 targets in 2 games since Mark Andrews went down with an ankle injury that will likely end his season. Only Odell Beckham has double-digit targets among Baltimore receivers since Andrews' injury, and Flowers now holds a sturdy 24% target share on the season. The Ravens head to Jacksonville for Sunday Night Football in Week 15. So, Lamar and Beckham. That's 2 for Beckham. Lamar is on the board. Cal Ridley recorded 4 receptions on 13 targets for 53 yards in Sunday's loss to the Browns. Ridley benefited from the absence of Christian Kirk and saw a season-high 13 targets. However, he struggled to produce, as he averaged only 4.1 yards per target and a long gain of just 16 yards. Ridley's efficiency should have the chance to rebound in future weeks as Trevor Lawrence's ankle health improves in easier matchups. This may not come in Week 15, however, as the Jaguars draw a tough matchup against the stingy Baltimore secondary. That's 2 for the Ravens D. Trevor Lawrence is on the board. Christian Kirk, I believe, is injured, so I'm going to write his stupid fucking name down. Evan Engram recorded 11 receptions on 12 targets for 95 yards and 2 touchdowns in Sunday's loss to the Browns. Engram benefited from the absence of Christian Kirk in Jacksonville playing from behind to command a season-high 11 targets. He had primarily short gains, though his longest reception went for 23 yards. Ingram also found the end zone from 10 and 2 yards away, and he's now tallied 3 touchdowns in his last 2 games after failing to score the first 11 contests of the campaign. He'll draw a difficult matchup in Week 15 against the Ravens, though volume should be on his side with Kirk still sidelined. Ooh, interesting. They don't mention Trevor Lawrence, though, right? No, they don't. Ingram is a beast, and they're telling you he's got a beast. All right, so now let's go all the way down to the bottom till we find our way to Gus Edwards at the top. Old Gnu's. We're looking to find who the fuck will be our $200 man. Because today, fucking little Jordan Humphrey made somebody about fucking $10,000. Little fucking Jordan Humphrey, who's done shit all fucking season. Like, they wait for you to get the memo that says, oh no, we didn't run him today. Make sure you fucking pop off. Ran the shit out of Brock fucking Wright. You know what he did? Nothing. He pulled his groin. I hope he can't fucking pee standing up for the rest of his fucking life. Asshole. You did nothing for me today. You tanked fucking 12 of my lineups. Ugh, why do we do this to ourselves? Josh Peterson was elevated to the Jacksonville Jaguars active roster Saturday. This marks the third straight week Peterson has been promoted from the practice squad. He has primarily served as a special teams option, playing 7 and 6 snaps here and there in the previous 2 games. He will presumably see a similar role versus the Ravens. Man, the shit. Shit! Now, where is he on the depth chart? Because you know what? That's the fucking guy that's going to be sitting in the fucking end zone. Fucking Bengals today hit every tight end except the ones I had. All right, Luke Farrell's the number 2. Peterson's in for Brenton Strange, I guess. No matter. He's a fucking blocker. Ooh, I'm burping up pickles. I love those sliced pickles, man. From Dash Mart. And that freeze-dried candy. Fuck am I doing to myself? I am killing myself. I love being a crazy old man. I mean, it's Saturday. Even though it's rainy and shitty out, I should be out. I should be chasing tail. I should be looking for my next ex-wife. But I'm watching these fucking games glued to my computer, screaming over every price point fluctuation, cursing God. I fucking had Taylor Goodson, and they robbed me of that fucking touchdown. First fucking place I had, and then they took it back because that fucking touchdown got reneged. And then he had the other one where he got in Javonte Williams, and they said his knee was down. It's just all fucking day with this knee down vulture fucking crap. Fucking Taylor Goodson was 1.9% owned. He was my ticket to about 4 or 5 fucking large. No. Great fucking sermon. Vulture my fucking hate. Fuck! Calm down. Charlie Kolar, he ain't doing shit. Fuck Charlie Kolar. Fuck the Kolar brothers. Fuck the Sosa brothers. And fuck Diaz. Melvin Gordon III. Hey, Travis Volkov, good luck. Mark Andrews on the injured reserve. Owen Wright. So none of these guys do shit. We're still in the 200s. What we got here? Jamal Agnew. Activated off injured reserve Saturday. Interesting. Prior to the Week 10 shoulder injury, Agnew had been quietly an offensive factor for Jacksonville, with 2 games of 4+ receptions and at least 18 offensive snaps in each of the last 3 games. With Christian Kirk likely out for the rest of the regular season, Agnew, who remains questionable for Sunday's contest against the Ravens, could compete for wide receiver snaps behind Cal Ridley and Zay Jones. Though over the Jaguars' last 2 games, it's worth noting that rookie Parker Washington has become more involved in the team's offense. Ooh, Jamal Agnew could be our little $200 sleeper. So we got here Ridley, Jones, and Washington. Ridley, Jones, and Parker Washington. Monsieur Parker Washington. Jamal Agnew, he could be our little sleeper. Could he be the fucking sleeper? Christian Kirk is done. Injured reserve on Friday. For Cameron Wolf of the NFL Network, Kirk will undergo surgery to address a core muscle groin injury and will will miss at least 4 games following his placement on IR. While Kirk is out of the lineup, rookie Parker Washington should step into a steady role in the 3 receiver sets alongside Cal Ridley and Zay Jones. 2 for Washington, 2 for Jones, 2 for Ridley. But we saw who really was the big benefactor was Evan Engram. Duvernay was placed on injury reserve Wednesday. The move doesn't come as a surprise after Ian Rappaport of the NFL Network reported Tuesday that the 2-time Pro Bowl return man would likely miss the final 4 weeks of the regular season due to the back injury he suffered in the past Sunday's overtime win over the Rams. Duvernay isn't expected to require a procedure on his back, and the Ravens are optimistic he'll be eligible to return from IR when the first eligible in advance of the postseason. In the meantime, Tylan Wallace is expected to take over as the Ravens' top return man in Duvernay's absence. Wallace. Tylan Wallace. Did we see him down here? We did not. There he is. Oh, they gave him a little fucking promotion, huh? Dobbins. Jean-Luc Ricard. Tim Jones. That's his motherfucking name. They did not play Cincinnati. They played Cleveland. So that's old fucking news. Brenton Strange is listed as questionable ahead of Sunday's game against the Ravens. Strange was a limited participant in all 3 practices this week and has a chance to return from a 2-game absence. If he does play, he'll return to his role operating on special teams as a run-blocking tight end, behind Evan Engram and Luke Farrell. Evan Engram is on the board. Luke Farrell is on the board. Luke Farrell. Speaking of which, nope, old fucking news. Tylan Wallace went without a target across 5 snaps on offense and returned 3 punts for 95 yards, including a game-winning 76-yard touchdown in Sunday's overtime victory over the Rams. A 2018 first-team All-American as a receiver at Oklahoma State, Wallace had just 6 receptions to his name since joining the Ravens as a 4th-round pick in 2021. Rather than an offense, Wallace has seen most of his NFL action to date as a member of the Ravens' coverage units on special teams, but was pressed into duties as the team's return man after 2-time Pro Bowler Devin Duvernay exited Sunday's game early with a back injury. While Duvernay was available early in the contest, Wallace was penalized for lining up in the neutral zone on a 4th and 5th play in the second quarter. That gave the Rams a first down and eventually led to a touchdown. But Wallace atoned for the error in overtime. While fielding a punt cleanly with just under 8 minutes remaining, Wallace danced around several defenders, spun out of a tackle, and sprinted down the sideline for the walk-off score. Head coach John Harbaugh said Monday that Duvernay will likely be out for a week or more with a back injury, so look for Wallace to continue serving as the Ravens' return man, Week 15 in Jacksonville. Well, that's quite a story. Nelson Aguilar caught all 5 targets for 32 yards Sunday against the Rams. This marks Aguilar's busiest day in terms of targets since Week 5, when he also drew 5 targets against the Steelers. The veteran wasn't explosive with his opportunities, but he was efficient, reeling in every pass thrown his way. The Ravens had interesting usage with his receiving corps Sunday. Zay Flowers led the group at 97% snap count, which is the norm, but Aguilar was next in line among receivers with a 60% snap share. Odell Beckham and Rashad Bateman each played over 45% of the snaps, respectively, meaning that the Ravens were comfortable giving high snap volumes to 4 different wideouts. Aguilar generally vacillates between 35% to 50% of the snaps, so Sunday was potentially an outlier both in terms of snap share and target share. Baltimore's receiver usage will be an interesting detail to monitor in the upcoming game against the Jaguars on Sunday. Jesus fucking Christ, who's writing these novels? They didn't even talk about Jackson, did they? They talked about the other receivers, essentially. That's 3 for Beckham, 2 for Flowers. And Bateman is on the board. Rashad Bateman. Vacillates. Obviously, Draftkings hired some new writer who really, really wants to be heard. It's Aguilar's a sleeper. That guy broke a fucking slate a couple of goddamn weeks ago. I pulled him out of like 20 lineups literally 5 minutes before the game started, replaced him with whoever the fuck I could replace him with, and I paid dearly for that. I think I popped a fucking blood vessel in my fucking neck that day from screaming. Justice Hill recorded a 12-yard reception on 2 targets in Sunday's win over the Rams. He did not record a carry. Though the touches were minimal for Hill, he was on the field plenty Sunday. Baltimore clearly finds value in his versatility in terms of pass catching, change of pace running, and pass blocking, much to the chagrin of fantasy managers invested in Gus Edwards or Keaton Mitchell. Hill actually led the Ravens running backs in snap count against the Rams, even though both Mitchell and Edwards had more fantasy usage. Hill has just 1 game since the season opener with double-digit carries and is unlikely to change with Mitchell and Edwards healthy. Do not mistake Hill's consistent snap count for fantasy upside. I'm telling you, he fuck himself, basically. But Mitchell is on the board. Edwards is on the board. And now we get into possible captains. Rashad Bateman caught 2 of 4 targets for 24 yards on Sunday against the Rams. It continues to be a disappointing season for Bateman as he was outsnapped and out-targeted by Nelson Aguilar and was once again held under 30 receiving yards. Bateman has a mere 11% snap target share and is only drawing targets on 17% of his routes, which ranks in the 42nd percentile among receivers. To compound the volume issues, Bateman is only catching 55% of his targets. His usage has only ticked up slightly since Baltimore had to reconfigure their target distribution in Mark Andrews' absence, and the bulk of the passing game is centered on the trio of Zay Flowers, Odell Beckham, and Isaiah Likely. Jesus fucking Christ, these novels. That's 4 for Beckham. 3 for Flowers, 2 for Likely. That is Bateman. Who they just talked about? Aguilar. Shit, Nelson Aguilar might have to get his ass a captain's chair. It's like you have to burn. Oh, this guy hasn't done shit. So we gotta burn. I don't think we're burning. We're not burning a captain's chair on him. He sucks. Jags D. How's the Jags D? Yeah, they show up. A couple of times they've been there. I think the Ravens are a fucking crazy team, so I don't think we're going to be putting defense into too many of these lineups. Lost to the Bengals. Fuck off. That was the Monday Night Football game. Tank Bigsby ain't done shit. Parker Washington caught 2 of 3 targets for 27 yards and a touchdown during Sunday's loss to Cleveland. The 21-year-old secured the second touchdown of his career with a 19-yard reception in the 4th quarter, but he otherwise wasn't significantly involved in the passing game on a day when Trevor Lawrence attempted 50 passes. Washington played 47 of 76 offensive snaps as Jacksonville's number 3 wideout and should remain in that role going forward with Christian Kirk on injured reserve. It's 2 for Trevor. How is the Ravens D? Ravens D fucking shows up. Oh yeah. They put up 7 fucking points even though they gave up 31 points. The Ravens D is dangerous. They get defensive touchdowns. They get sacks. Well, that's the only reason they got it because they got that fucking punt return, huh? Fuck, man. Ravens defense is the best. They don't fuck around. Bradley McManus made all 3 of his PATs and did not attempt a field goal during Sunday's loss to the Browns. McManus was held without a field goal attempt for the first time this year, and he tied a season low with 3 points Sunday. The 32-year-old is 24 for 28 on field goals and 30 for 30 on PATs through 13 games, and a matchup with Baltimore awaits Week 15. I don't think he's worth the captain's chair. Justin Tucker, he's a mean motherfucker. He has to have a captain's chair because this guy has won fucking lineups. Made all 3 of his field goal attempts in both extra point tries in Sunday's overtime win over the Rams. Tucker was perfect on a day where every kick mattered as the 2 teams played a back and forth affair in Week 14. The Texas product connected from 31, 47, 33 yards out to help Baltimore secure a hard-fought win. Next up for Tucker and the Ravens is a Week 15 matchup with the Jaguars. Say the Slade Jones does not carry an injury designation ahead of Sunday's game against the Ravens. Jones was limited at practice this week, but he'll play through the knee issue this weekend, and in the process will have an opportunity to maintain a key role in the Jaguars' receiver core that will be without Christian Kirk, who is on IR with a groin injury. In the Jaguars' loss to the Browns in Week 14, Jones caught 5 of his 14 targets for 29 yards. With continued volume in terms of snaps and targets alongside fellow wideout Cal Ridley, presumably on tap this weekend, Jones profiles as a bounce-back candidate versus Baltimore, as long as he and Trevor Lawrence can mesh better than they did against Cleveland. It's 3 for Lawrence. That's 3 for Ridley. Shout Sam. Keaton Mitchell rushed the ball 9 times for 54 yards in Sunday's win over the Rams. He added 1 catch for 2 targets on 3 yards. Mitchell led Baltimore's backfield with 9 carries and 10 touches, though Lamar Jackson led the team with 11 rushing attempts. Mitchell continued to show off his explosiveness, as his longest gain of the day went for 27 yards, and he also managed 4 rushes for at least 6 yards. The Ravens haven't been willing to completely turn the rushing attack over to Mitchell, but he has at least 8 carries in 4 of the league's last 5 contests. We're at the captain's chair. Got some backup fucking quarterbacks here. Malik Cunningham. Head coach John Harbaugh said Wednesday that Baltimore signing off Cunningham was a move for the future. And the rookie will practice with the team as a quarterback and wide receiver. Cunningham will be the team's 4th quarterback on the active roster after they signed him on the Patriots practice squad Tuesday. While all of Lamar Jackson, Tyler Huntley, and Josh Johnson are healthy and available, Cunningham's likeliest path to playing time in the short term is as receiver or as a gadget player on offense. In a corresponding move, the Ravens placed wideout return man Devin Duvernay on injured reserve. When is this guy going to be a sleeper, huh? That is 2 for Lamar. What did they mention? They mentioned Huntley, Johnson. Just taking him down for posterity. I don't think Malik Cunningham's getting in the game this week. Beathard will serve as the backup quarterback in Sunday's game against the Browns, with Trevor Lawrence listed for the contest. It's the Browns. This is old news. He will serve. This was before the game. All right. I want to talk about what happened at the game or after the game. So that's old fucking news. Tyler Huntley. Nathan Rourke, waived by the Jaguars Saturday. Rourke signed with Jaguars active roster prior to the Week 14 matchup with the Browns in order to serve as the emergency option under center behind Trevor Lawrence and C.J. Beathard. Assuming he clears waivers, the signal call will presumably land back with the team's practice squad. So they do get Lawrence in there. That's 4 for Trevor, 1 for Beathard. Hey, do we want to read this fucking stupid thing on Beathard? Against the Browns. Shit, fuck it, just read it. Beathard will serve as the backup quarterback on Sunday's game against the Browns, with Trevor Lawrence listed active for the contest and having been cleared to start. See, no, because they're talking about the Bengals game. No, doesn't count. Don't do it. Don't torture yourself. Ernest Johnson doesn't have an injury designation for Sunday's game against the Ravens. Johnson has been playing through the knee issue for weeks. He settled in as Travis Etienne's change of pace back and is averaging 6.4 touches per game over the Jaguars' last 5 contests. Why the fuck is this guy listed so high? I'm not taking the bait on this one. Isaiah Likely recorded 5 receptions on 7 targets for 83 yards and a touchdown in Sunday's win over the Rams. Likely started his second game in the absence of Mark Andrews, and he's delivered season-best numbers in every statistic. The majority of his production came on a 54-yard touchdown reception late in the first quarter, on which he went in motion and was completely lost by the defense as he streaked wide open down the sideline. While Odell Beckham and Zay Flowers will be prioritized in the offense, Likely should keep a consistent role for the rest of the regular season. That is 5 for Beckham. That is 4 for Flowers. It's a damn good game for Likely. Odell Beckham Jr. recorded 4 receptions on 10 targets for 97 yards and a touchdown in Sunday's win over the Rams. Beckham tied for the team lead in targets with Zay Flowers, although he led the way in yardage thanks to several big plays. The most notable was a 46-yard touchdown reception early in the second quarter, when Beckham split a double team down the sideline before adjusting to the underthrown ball and rolling into the end zone. He also tacked on a healthy receptions of 20 and 17 yards and fell just short of reaching the century mark for the second time in his last 3 games. Nevertheless, Beckham has emerged in the Ravens' offense since Mark Andrews has gone down, and he'll face a struggling Jacksonville secondary. Week 15. So they're telling you he's emerged. He's the man. Jose Flowers also gets a big mention. Jacksonville's secondary. And finally, Gus the Bus Edwards rushed the ball 6 times for 15 yards in Sunday's win over the Rams. Edwards continued to see his role slip relative to Keaton Mitchell, as his 6 carries are the lowest mark since Week 9 and his 15 yards were the fewest from scrimmage this season. Edwards will likely maintain the goal line role, although Lamar Jackson threw for 3 long touchdowns in Sunday's victory, so touches near the goal line were very limited. Given the emergence of Mitchell, it would be difficult to trust Edwards down the stretch of the campaign. So that's 2 for Mitchell. That is 3 for Lamar. Mm-hmm. Well. What do we have here? In terms of mentions, Odell Beckham and Zay Flowers 5 times were brought up. Isaiah Likely twice, the Ravens defense twice, Lamar Jackson 3 times. Wallace, Bateman, Mitchell gets 2 mentions. Edwards, Aguilar, Huntley, Josh Johnson. So, of course, we got Lamar Jackson, Zay Flowers, Odell Beckham Jr. On the other side, we got Trevor Lawrence, 4 mentions. Cal Ridley, 3. Zay Jones, 2. Parker Washington, 2. And then Engram, Luke Farrell, CJ Beathard, Jaguars D. So how do we get rid of this 14 large here? Because what I noticed who wasn't mentioned was Travis Etienne. They happen to mention at the end here he'll take aim at a Ravens defense that Kyren Williams ran for 114 yards on 25 carries in Baltimore's overtime win. So what they're telling you is Kyren Williams ran all over this fucking team. Right? Hmm. Lawrence got the mention. Everybody here got mentions. But Etienne didn't. If we're running a Lamar Jackson headed lineup, though, we want all of his targets in there. So get rid of Engram, get rid of Ridley, Etienne, Lawrence, and just for the hell of it, would they mention that he hit everybody again? It was Beckham, Likely, Flowers. So Beckham, Likely, and Flowers. Now, of course, we can't get Ridley. You can get Engram. If you went there and took Engram as your lone Jaguar, because you see the man fucking went off last week for 32 fucking points, not so illogical. What are you left here with? Jamal Agnew? Say you want to go a little further down. Fuck the Ernest Johnson. Say you go with Zay Jones. That leaves you 3 large for Aguilar, Tylen Wallace. That sounds a little more interesting. So you just go with Tucker and you take whatever's left. Who's left to the Jaguars? Jamal Agnew. What if we took Parker Washington? That leaves us with Ravens defense. Ooh. Whoa. That could fucking work. That could work out real fucking well. As a matter of fact, fuck Rashad Bateman. Do another Lamar Slaughter stack here. So Lamar, Beckham, Flowers, likely. This time we'll keep Ingram. And for $1,000 left over, we will take Jamal Agnew. Right? And on this one, Jaguars defense ain't gonna be doing shit. So we're gonna run another Lamar Slaughter stack. Lamar Jackson, Beckham, likely, Flowers. This one will be Zay Jones and Nelson Aguilar. See, everyone's having a good night. We can't get Ridley in this situation. Nor do we want to. So that's going to be 3 lineups with Lamar Jackson at the top. Mm. Nope. Nope. Whatever. Yeah, sorry. That did over here. Bada bing, bada boom. So we get Evan Engram, Parker Washington, Zay Jones, all featured as the lone Jaguar in a possible slaughter stack. All right? Oh, I guess did we have an extra one in here by accident? We just made 3 lineups, right? So I should have 17 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Well, fuck me, huh? All right, so I guess Jaguars defense might get one more chance. Who's after Bigsby? Jaguars D. Falcon A. All right, here we are. Back where we was. Okay, so if you're running Lawrence at the top, Jackson, Etienne, Flowers, Ridley, Engram, $13,000 deficit. If you're running Trevor at captain, let's say we fade Jackson here. You keep Ridley, keep Engram, keep Etienne, and make this a slaughter stack. With Beckham as the lone Raven and Jamal Agnew. To me, slaughter stack that one. If Lawrence is the captain, then it's a fucking slaughter stack. He's just fucking hitting motherfuckers everywhere. All right. Now we got Travis Etienne. I like Beckham and Jackson together as handcuffs. We come in with Flowers underneath. I don't see why not. We're pretty much going to not be putting the running backs in at the core. It's Jackson. Lamar Jackson's the running back. So what can we fit in underneath here? Now again, we start coming in with a target for Etienne. Do we come in with Zay Jones? The 700 get you Agnew. Well, let's start looking at alternate. Okay, so you got 63 is where we come in if we get the triplets here. So you start with Keaton Mitchell. Again, Jamal Agnew. Zay Jones. These are all Jamal Agnew link ups. If we're liking Travis Etienne. Parker Washington, we're fans of now. You back it up with Tylan Wallace. But they got 4 receivers already. Tylan Wallace ain't doing shit unless he's running one back. So again, who's giving us the best situation here? I think Parker Washington's probably the breakout star here. I'm liking Parker Washington. Maybe they promote Tylen Wallace because of his show, and maybe he runs one fucking back. I won 20 grand because Devin Duvernay ran back a fucking touchdown. So it's not so far fetched. All right. So essentially, we're coming in underneath. We got Flowers here already, so of course we're running Lamar. I'm gonna run Beckham. We're running these three. Three Ravens, or three pair Ravens. Key is what are we running underneath it? We can't run Lawrence. I'm trying to see if we can run Lawrence. You're not getting Lawrence and Ridley, but you can get Lawrence and Washington. If you came in underneath here, you can also do Ridley and Washington. Let's get rid of the Jaguars D. Let's come in with Zay Flowers, Ridley, Beckham, Jackson. Okay, so Parker Washington. What do you got? Ravens D? Fuck yes. Now again, we can get rid of Tank Bigsby and we could run another Zay Flowers. Flowers, Jackson, Beckham. This time instead of running Ridley, you run Engram. Oh shit, you run Engram and Ridley. And right underneath, you can run Jamal Agnew. So you get Ridley and Engram, Ridley and Washington, and you get Trevor Lawrence and Parker Washington. So we get three lineups with Zay Flowers at the top. That I like. Oh, right over here, what do we get? Nelson Aguilar. Bang. It's the Zay Flowers. Cal Ridley. Of course, we got to link him up with his man, Trevor Lawrence. Link them bitches up. Now let's see if we can get three. We get Lamar. I don't think we're getting Flowers and Beckham. So you got to run two. Actually, you got to run three if you want. You run Jackson and Flowers. You run another one with Jackson and Beckham. And you can run one with Flowers and Beckham. Parker Washington, we like. Ravens D, definitely in play. McManus, we don't need him a captain. So let's run another Ridley. This time we run it with Jackson, Beckham, and Flowers. No Trevor Lawrence. But you could run Engram underneath with Agnew. We could run another Ridley instead of Tucker. I would definitely run that instead of Tucker. So let's run Ridley along with Jackson, Beckham, Flowers, and Parker Washington. Getting us enough for Ravens fucking defense. Boosh. Boujale. We like the pass catchers here. Right. All right. So now we got Ridley here. We can't get Tucker. Well, we can get Washington. With 15 left. Luke Farrell's a possibility. He does play tight end too. You go straight down to Agnew. Luke Farrell, though. Tight end twos are the ones that are always in that fucking end zone. Yeah, Luke Farrell it is. That's our sick card on that one. See what I'm doing here? Kind of fading Travis Etienne. Just not working for me in my mix here. I can't get Etienne, but we can get Ridley. With 16 left for Luke Farrell. Now again, Rocker Washington, Ravens D, Zay Jones, Keaton Mitchell, Dearness Johnson. Yeah, I'm saying we get rid of Dearness Johnson. So let's get Ingram. Now let's put him in with Trevor Lawrence. We get Jackson. I don't think we can get Beckham and Flowers. We can get Flowers. Can we get rid of... See, Likely's definitely got to be a captain. Beckham's a captain. Edwards, I'm thinking we could ditch on Edwards. Let's get this other Ingram lineup going here with Lawrence, Jackson, and Beckham. So this one's ready to go. Boom. All right. See, we got 86. You can't get Ridley, but you can get Washington. With enough left over for, yes. Let's say it again. Ravens D. It's the other one go down here. Do, do. I know it's, oh, there we go. We get Likely and Agnew. Bang. About if Jamal Agnew shows up. Please show up to that fucking game. 20 fucking grand on the line there. Right. FOV. Odell Beckham Jr. Well, of course, you're going to give him Lamar Jackson with some Zay Flowers action. Little Trevor Lawrence underneath. Shit, we can't get Ingram. We can get Washington. With 36 left over for Nelson Aguilar. We got Jaguars D. Likely, of course. Let's give him Jackson and Beckham with Lawrence and Ridley and Luke Farrell. Bang. Go, go get him, killer. Keaton Mitchell. Is Mitchell behind there? So Mitchell comes before like so like let's do Likely again instead of Keaton Mitchell. And we're gonna have Jackson and Flowers this time instead of Beckham. Along with Ridley, Ingram, and Aguilar. So no Lawrence there. We got Zay Jones. Give him his quarterback. Give him Lamar. Give him Bex. And we get Flowers with enough left over for Mr. Aguilar. All fucking targets and quarterbacks. Taking a bold move, which means if the running game is active in this game, I am fully fucked. All right. Ravens D, we got Justin Tucker coming up in here. We use Lamar, Flowers, Beckham. This is a slaughter stack with enough left over for Mr. Ridley. And finally, Parker Washington, along with Trevor Lawrence, Lamar Jackson, Zay Flowers, Odell Beckham, and enough left over for Jaguars kicker, Bradley McManus. Ladies and gentlemen, that is 20 lineups. May fate and fate decide your fortune if you should win. Blow your money on the new Faro's Lounge Kickstarter. It's a thing. It's a happening. Heading towards 13 grand. Why not help me get there yourself? Peace, love, war, all that other shit in between.